Joe, it's FAI Cup semi-final week. How are you feeling?
Yeah, look, I'm really looking forward to Sunday. I mean, it's a great occasion for the club, and the fans that are travelling down on Sunday have shown how they've supported us all year in their numbers, and now it's something that we're really looking forward to.
Jamie?
Yeah, huge opportunity to get to the Aviva, so we can't take the game lightly. Like, we haven't been, in fairness, with all of our cup games, but it's going to be a really tough game, like we found out last week. So we're going to make sure that we're bang at it on Sunday.
What's your thoughts on the game overall and facing Cork?
I think it's going to be a tough game. Like I said, every game we've been in the cup this year has been really tough. All of them are away games as well, so Cork's going to be no different. They're a threat going forward. Obviously, Keaton's a handful, and they defend quite well, and they're dogged in midfield. So we got to find ways around that. Make sure we do our homework on them this week, and then just be ready for Sunday, prepare properly.
Joe, we faced Cork only in the league on Friday, a 1-0 victory. What were your thoughts on that game, and I suppose facing the same opposition 9 days later?
Yeah, look, we knew going down there how tough a game it was going to be. I mean, you speak to any teams in the league, and Turner's Cross is a very tough place to go, and it'll be no different come Sunday. But Friday, look, we know that we weren't at our full selves, and we'll be looking to put in a better performance. We've dissected the game, and that'll be something that we'll look to do on Sunday. Yeah.
Jamie mentioned some of the Cork threats. They've lots of good players, Aaron Bolger and Cian Coleman. We're here doing the media day with you guys today. Jamie mentioned Rory Keating as well, one of the top scorers in the league. He's been back in brilliant form, and you had a good battle with him on Friday, and I'm sure if you both play on Sunday, you'll have to try and look after him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why we all play. We want to play against the best players in the league, and we want to challenge ourselves every week. And I mean, obviously mentioning Rory, he's had a very good season, and he's up there with the top scorers. But now I'm really looking forward to another battle against them. They've got a lot of quality all over the pitch, and as a team, I think we've got to go out and put in a very good team performance.
The away end, Jamie, sold out. 1,100 Pats fans will be at Turner's Cross on Sunday. What will that atmosphere be like when kick-off comes for you guys, when you walk out and you come out the tunnel at the far end in the shed in Cork and you see 1,100 Pats fans packed into the far end?
Yeah, I think there's no doubt it's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere. Not just our fans, but the whole stadium itself is going to be packed out. Thankfully, we've got quite a big allocation of seats, so there won't be one spare in that end, but we'll need them on Sunday. We need them to get behind us from the first minute, and it's going to be a tough game. Then their fans are going to get behind them. It's going to be a proper FAI Cup semi-final, so we've just got to make sure we're ready for it and just go out and enjoy it.
What's the feeling yourself when you walk out the tunnel for a big game? Like I walked out behind you guys on Friday making a video. I think Jamie Lennon was last in the line, and even as I came out, I could feel the kind of the buzz and the noise of the stadium. What's it like when you're about to play in one of those big games in a stadium like that?
Yeah, it's a great buzz, just knowing that all them people in the stand are there for the 22 players on the pitch, and you're just one of them players, so it kind of makes or breaks their weekend, whether you win or whatever the score is, or the result, should I say. But once the referee blows his whistle, you just kind of focus on the game and your tasks, make sure that you're thinking in the right way, where you're thinking, how can we win the game, or you're trying to recognise things in the pitch and try not take too much notice to everything else that's going on off the pitch. But at times it's the crowd that drags you through, especially in tough times where you probably need them. They've done a lot for us this season, our supporters, where they've just dragged us through games, and we're going to need that again on Sunday.
Joe, the fans have been spoken about a lot, and I know you're coming towards the end of your second season at St. Pat's, and your family and a lot of your friends go to every single game. Lenny's the same. What's that like? Like, there'll be 1,100 fans there, but you know that like your mum and dad, your immediate family, some of your best mates are there with you at every game in the country, and even some of the games when you were injured, they were going to watch, and you know that they're somewhere in the away end.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think when you come out into an away stadium and your family are there, you try and spot them straight away, because it's nice knowing where they are, and like obviously in Ireland you can kind of spot them, but no, it's a great feeling having them all there. And I mean, coming back from the games and talking about the games is great, and look, they're going to really spur us on in the end of the season, and with all them travelling down on Sunday, as Jamie said, we will really need them.
For you, Jamie, as well, you've been at St. Pat's a long time. You're the longest serving player in a current spell, and you could probably count on one hand the number of matches that your mum and dad have missed, other people close to you and mates as well going to watch, and I know even at Richmond the home games to hang around to see you after and stuff, and I'm sure they'll be all there on Sunday as well. And you're like Joe, you try and spot them before the game and give them hopefully what will be a nice celebration afterwards.
Yeah, just like Joe said, just to know that they're there and they got down safe or whatever. But once the game kicks off, I think you're just focused on what's going on the pitch. But yeah, they love it. They love going home and away. I think they've got a big group of mates now where they just go everywhere together. So it's nice. That's just sums up the club really. It's kind of got that community kind of family feel. Where everyone kind of knows each other and everyone's kind of just enjoying the match day vibe, and it's going to be the same on Sunday with a massive game.
Yeah, I suppose when you were younger growing up, like your mum and dad would have brought you to all the trainings and all the games, and obviously for a number of years now you've been old enough to get yourself there, but it's nice that they still follow you everywhere and literally are your biggest supporters.
Yeah, well, just doing it so long where they probably just don't know any difference, so they just enjoy it. I think they enjoy the celebrations when we win, and like, you know, when we're applauding the crowd and all. I think they just get a real buzz off that. And like I said, they just love football. So like myself, and that's just the way I've grown up with them coming to my games, and I think that they just continue to do that for as long as I play.
Our last cup game in Cork, Jamie, was back in 2021, a couple of seasons ago in the quarter-finals. Things were only opened up again after COVID, so the place wasn't full. That was a 1-1 draw. We went ahead late through a crisp penalty. They equalised almost last ball, and then we won it on penalties. What were your memories of that game?
My memories was that we were very light on players that day, and I ended up playing centre-half for most of it. So it just must be a thing where Cork, where I have to play in a different position. But yeah, no, it was great. I remember we went to penalties, and I think it was 𝗟𝗵𝗁 scored the winning penalty and the celebrations, and we talked about during that game where you're going to have sticky moments in the cup, and it's just about a little bit of luck, and I think we had that little bit of luck on the penalty shootout up in Derry, and we might need it again on Sunday, but hopefully we could just put on a good performance and try and win the game, and you know, set it up for a really exciting end to the season.
Joe, Jamie mentioned there the run to the semi-final this year, should I say, with the penalties in Derry, but the first round of the Cup was away to Longford. It was your return from a long-term injury. You've been out for a number of months. I think it was 4 months with a torn hamstring. You came on, you played every minute since. We've been in great form since, but thinking back to that day in Longford, what do you remember about it? Because I think you came on at an interesting time in the game.
Yeah, I just came on as they equalised, and it just went 1-1, and I remember just thinking come on and do your job with me and enjoy it as well, because when you've missed such a big spell of games in such a long period of time, you've just got to come on, and you've got to appreciate it when you're out there, and we speak about it a lot, like not taking anything for granted and having no regrets, and that was me aim coming on and to just get into the next round.
Yeah, it's fair to say we've had to work hard to get to the semi-finals in terms of every game has been away from home. That game in Longford followed by, you know, that long trip to Derry and the penalty shootout, and you know, we've been in 𝗵𝗵𝗁 as well. Tommy got the late winner, and now we're heading to Cork as well. What can that do for a group, Joe, in terms of the challenges it poses on the pitch, but also the, I suppose, collective group feeling you can have when you go to these places, make the long trips? In this case, this weekend, go overnight to Cork and hopefully come out with the right result.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've probably the most travelled team in the Cup this year, but it can really create a big togetherness in the squad, like travelling all that distance and going and winning in difficult circumstances. I mean, when Longford equalised, it was difficult. Up in Derry, going to penalties, going down in the penalty shootout, just building that resilience, like going down 1-0 in 𝗵𝗵𝗁 and still having that belief that we can come out and win. And sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to grind out difficult moments, and looking back at them, that's what, if we have to do that again down in Cork, that's what we'll be willing to do.
Just to flip it back to 2021, and we're sitting here in the Aviva at the semi-final media day, and Jamie obviously played the last time we were here in the final. You were in the Pats end, Joe. I believe we were just chatting off air there as well. What's your memories of that day? You weren't even a Pats player at the time, but you were watching from the Pats end, and that game of course went all the way to penalties, and the penalties were at that end.
Yeah, the penalties were at that end, and I was standing in that end. I remember it well. Obviously it's not too long ago, but like walking up to the stadium as a fan and being around it, it's a great feeling, and it's a great occasion, and I'd love to be on the other side of it this time, obviously watching Lenny from the stand is a hard watch, but no, definitely I'd love to be back involved in it, but out there on the grass. That
probably gave you an appreciation of what the Pats fans are like as well before you joined, because that day was just like a special one for the attendance that was there, and particularly the atmosphere at that end. Yeah, no, the performance that they put in that day was a very good performance, and it was a great game for everyone involved, and obviously it came down to a kick of the ball, and now look, thankfully there's lads still in that dressing room that got to experience that, and they speak about it
on a regular occasion about how special of a day it was and the celebrations after and the lead up to it, and I mean it gives you the urge to want to have a piece of it.
Yeah, because Jamie, there's a number of players in the current squad who were involved that day, and I know we've got a very difficult game in Cork to get through, to get to a final, but that must be a great incentive for the lads who were here a couple of years ago, the lads who watched it in the stand. Everyone in the league and in the country watches that game, and the fact that we're one step away from it now is a great motivation, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, you never know when, if you ever do step onto the Aviva, you could be your last time ever doing it, but I'm lucky in the fact that we've got a massive chance on Sunday to go and try and make it happen again and get back here and give the fans a great day out. So it's going to be a long week waiting up until Sunday to just get out on the pitch, because you kind of just want to get the game started already. But yeah, look, the lads that have experience, they will obviously talk about it with fond memories and stuff like that, and I think that could just make the other younger lads in the team a bit more hungry, ready to wanting to experience that and wanting to get to cup finals. And yeah, we've got a great chance to do it now, and a lot of young fearless players that are going to go out and show what they do, and hopefully they can do that on Sunday. The
last semi-final we were in the Cup was at Richmond, a 3-1 victory against Dundalk, a packed stadium as well that night. Again, a number of players in the squad have probably played in big matches, but having experience for yourself of playing in a semi-final before and what it takes to get over the line, what maybe bits did you take from that game, even though I know it was different squad, different coaching team, a home game, but still to be able to go into the game and probably have experienced the occasion and stuff?
I think you've just got to manage emotions, especially because it's such a big occasion that you don't want to get too carried on into the emotional side of the game, and kind of just remember what your task is, remember what you're trying to do on the pitch as a team, and how you're going to kind of exploit the team you're playing, and how you're going to defend properly as a team. So it's important that we stick to them kind of basic principles and not just get carried away with the whole occasion. But we do know it's going to be a mad atmosphere down there on Sunday, and we're going to have to manage that and manage the crowd as well, and try and take this thing out of the game when we can, and then at times put a lot of intensity into the game to try and create as many chances as we can, give our forward players the best opportunity to score. Ultimately what we're trying to do is just win the game in any way we can and just get over the line and get to the Aviva again. Yeah,
I suppose the experience side of things as well, like that game in Cork last week in the league, 9 of the 18 outfielders have come through the academy. You were one of them, and you're now 25, but the rest of them, bar Ben, I think are all still teenagers. I think 7 can still play 19s and 3 can still play 17s. There's other experienced players in the group as well, but I mean the role that you guys both have in that scenario with younger players in the team and the ones around the team as well is something I'm sure, you were that player 5 years ago, Jamie, and now you're one of the senior ones trying to help them in these big days, which I'm sure is something that you take very seriously.
Yeah, I do, yeah. And these lads, they're just young and fearless, and they kind of, at times they don't need much guidance, because a lot of them have a good head on their shoulders, and they know what to expect. They know how to train properly every day. They know how to kind of carry themselves outside of football. So in that respect, they don't need much guidance. But I think it's just when it comes into games where we're in sticky moments, it's up to kind of experienced players to come together and say, right, we get tight for a few minutes, or else when we need to kind of speed up our play, or when we need to try a couple of different things. It's important that lads are on the pitch giving that kind of information, and it's not just coming from the manager on the sideline. We've got to recognise problems ourselves, and I think that's the most important thing, especially when there's a lot of young lads in the team around us. We've got to look after them, but like I said, they're young and fearless, and regardless of our last result, the next time they go out onto the pitch, they're just going to be as confident as they were before. So we've just got to let them allow them to just express themselves.
And Joe, just your thoughts on that again. You're only 22 yourself, but you're a very experienced player now, and every minute of every game last year, and by your injury this year, loads of appearances and lots of young ones around, even ones that haven't come through the academy, the likes of 𝗵𝗵𝗁, who's played beside you a lot, Sam, Curtis on the other side and stuff. And if 𝗵𝗵𝘁 or Ben McCormack, one of the younger ones, is in the middle in front of you, you've got to help them as best you can while also focusing on your own game. But I'm sure bits before the game, during the week in training, on the way to the game and stuff, you can help them as much as when you're actually playing.
Yeah, definitely. I've been in that situation where you're young and you maybe don't want to make mistakes, but I feel like at the club we've given so many young lads a platform to go out and embrace themselves and show what they're made of, nearly, because you're going to make mistakes at a young age, and you're going to make mistakes at all levels and at all ages, but it's how you react from them, which I think is showed a great maturity in a lot of the younger lads. They've played a lot of minutes throughout the year, and they've all been vital in the squad, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build on on these lads, because they're the future of the club, and whether they go on to have greater careers, which some of them are more than capable of doing while they're here, they've been like sponges and trying to soak up as much info as possible.
They probably bring a bit of a fearlessness list as well when they play, you know, because they're so young, they're just taking it in their stride, which again is really nice to see. And along with the senior players in the group, I think that's important to stress as well. There's lots of good senior players, you know, I'm not going to name them all, but the likes of yourselves, Chris, 𝗵𝗃𝗏, Dean Linus in goal, and a number of others who have also played a key role in that mix of, you know, even though it is a cliche, the youth and experience seems to have been the combination that's worked quite well so far.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of senior heads there that can guide, such as the younger ones. But the younger lads are so ambitious. I mean, they want to go and play at the highest level they can, and they want to perform, and they want to be in the team every week, and they train like they want to be that, and it helps us because it drives us, because if a lad's performing, whether they're younger or older, they know that they're going to be in the side based on performance and based on their work ethic, and you can learn bits of that from younger lads, and everyone takes bits from everyone, which is, I think, an important part of our squad, and we're all learning from each other, and I think we've shown how much we've grown from the start of the season until now, how much we've learned and how resilient we've become as a group.
I think, Jamie, it's fair to say as well, there's a real momentum and, you know, positive vibe about the club at the minute in all aspects, from the work being done in the community to the people coming to the ground, the academy, and you guys in the first team as well. Like, we lost 6 of the first 13 league games, and maybe the mood wasn't so great, and then, you know, John Daly took over as interim and then permanent manager, and you know, the positive run on the pitch both in the league and in the cup has been really, really good. And I suppose the challenge is between this semi-final, hopefully a final, and the last 4 league games is to try and keep that positive momentum going and pick up as many results as possible. But it does feel at the minute as if the club overall is in a good place, and you'd be well placed to comment on that because you've been here for so long. Yeah,
it is. It's probably in the best place that I've seen the club in terms of our attendances, in terms of the atmosphere. The relationship between the players and the supporters is really good. Obviously, all of us as players, we have a good relationship with our staff. Things behind the scenes have improved in terms of training ground, stuff like that. So all over the place there's always been improvements made. But ultimately, it probably comes down to what happens on the pitch with us. So yeah, Sunday's a massive game, and we know the hype all this week is going to be about Sunday. But we've got to remember as well that we've got some massive games in the league to try and secure a European spot. We've got teams on our tails that are in good form, so we've got to make sure we look after business. And if we happen to get through Sunday, obviously that would be another opportunity to try and secure European football. We don't want to let it come to that, because I think this squad and this team is good enough to just secure it in the league itself and hopefully finish the season on a real high. And lastly, Joe, just to give people watching and listening an insight into how Cup semi-final week will work, we're chatting at the Aviva on Tuesday. You've just done your interviews and your photos and stuff, your TV and radio interviews. This will be the last media that yourselves will do. John will do some media tomorrow, and then it's all focused on the rest of the week. But how does the rest of the week work, and, you know, travelling to Cork, and how you guys and you personally will prepare for kick-off on Sunday at 20 to 3? Yeah, look, I think you just need to prepare for it the same way you prepare for any game. That's why we're at this level, and that's why we have to be as professional as ever. You can't treat it too much like one game, and you can't take your eye off the ball thinking we played them last week and know what to expect, because they're going to be trying new things, and we know what it's like, and it's cup football and anything can happen. But now throughout the week you've just got to prepare right and make sure we all have our heads screwed on it, so that we can go down and show everyone the best accounts of ourselves, and show everyone what we've been working on, and try and cement our place in a cup final. Great, lads. Well, thanks for chatting and the best of luck. Jamie, thanks, Jamie.